let's get into our AFC East coverage now and kick it off with the Buffalo Bills. Their picks are as follow. They need a cornerback, a running back, defensive tackle, and a few other things. They have the 25th pick in the first round, then they pick in the 57 for the second round, so on and so forth. If you are new to the show, we break it down very simple. We tell you who these teams need to be drafting, whether it be the first round pick, a second round pick, third round pick, we will specify, but we are telling you who these teams need to draft. Aaron, you have the Bills in the first round. Who do they need to take in the first round?
Yeah, so this one, I thought a lot about it. It's not going to be consistent with like the mocks I put out because the mocks are saying what I feel like the Bills are going to do. What I think the Bills should do is continue to build that offense and continue to give Josh Allen everything that he needs in order to win a Super Bowl. I'm going to start right at the running back position. We know they have Zach Moss. We know they have Devin Singletary, but they need an absolute game breaker, game changer. And we talked about him the other day, and that's Breece Hall. Breece Hall is a guy, he's just electric. When you're talking about an offense with already a Stephon Diggs, already a Josh Allen, the Bills have struggled to find that run game over the past couple of seasons, and this is the guy that can do it. He's electric out of the backfield. He is his awareness. He runs 4.3. He's a legit 3-down running back, and you don't have to worry about kind of mixing and matching Devin Singletary with the Zach Moss. He's smart. He's patient. He understands how to get to the second level, how to read blocks. His footwork is great. There's a lot of talk about not being used on third downs, or he doesn't have much experience catching the ball out of the backfield. But the fact of the matter is, in college, a lot of those backs don't because they don't throw to the running backs a lot. I think he'll be fine there. The only area that I see that he needs some improvement in, which most young guys do, it's obviously the pass protection. He does have some tread on the tires, right? Over 800 touches in college. But I think this is the guy that can come in day one and be an impact player on an offense that is already really, really good, if not great, and be a game changer for that team as they take the next step to the Super Bowl.
I like that pick. I like that a lot. I mean, we talked a lot about Breece Hall being the best running back in this draft. We talked a lot about him. But what I really want to talk about here with this pick before AJ goes next, it's the running back position, and it's the Buffalo Bills. With Devin Singletary, there was some spots during last season where Devin Singletary actually did very well. There were multiple games where he was a 100-yard rusher. He was producing. He was producing well for Buffalo. So what do you have to say to the people watching right now that are Buffalo Bills fans saying, we need a running back, but not as high as a first-round pick because Devin Singletary wasn't so bad last year?
Well, I mean, we've seen this over and over again, right? Devin Singletary wasn't a first-round pick. He was a third-round pick, and he's been inconsistent at best over the course of his first 3 years. He had a career year last year, but he still only touched the ball 188 times on the ground. And this is a guy that, yeah, at times he's going to have flashes, but he's not consistent enough. And what I'm talking about is a consistent running back to where you don't need to worry about switching it up. There's a reason why Devin Singletary and Zach Moss have gone back and forth over the last 2 years. There's a reason why Matt Breida came in there and had some touches over the past couple of seasons. It's because Buffalo doesn't trust that running game because those guys are too inconsistent doing it. To me, when you're a team that's this close to the Super Bowl, and we're talking an overtime game away with Kansas City, maybe that close, I think you don't have many holes to fill. We talked about maybe a slot receiver. We talk about a DB that they're in need of. But in that situation in the draft, I think they can wait until a later round to get that, and they'll be fine if they go get an electric guy like Breece Hall. And this is where you get the running backs. Get them for 5 years or 4 to 5 years, and then when they ask for that new contract, you just let them go, right? I know we don't like to say it,
Ruthless.
but that's the way the business is. Run them into the ground for 4 years and then send them on their way. Let them get their big contract with somebody else because there's always somebody willing to pay them.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the head. Those would have been the exact words I had. They clearly don't trust their running backs. I mean, how many healthy scratches are we going to have to endure from a Zach Moss before we say they need to do something at this position? You know, they thought they trusted Matt Breida. They let him go. Why not bring in a guy like Breece Hall who can help on so many different levels? I just hit a button. I have no clue what it does. Hopefully everything will be okay. So, I really like that pick. And honestly, like the only reason I didn't make that exact pick, Aaron, was because I had just talked about him on Friday or last week. And when I saw it here, I was like, damn, that would have been a great spot for him. And I saw you had it locked down. So I went another route. maybe not as big of a need, some people may say, but they did lose Cole Beasley. Isaiah McKenzie came on strong, but I don't know how much they're going to put into him, and they added Jamison Crowder. But I still went with the wide receiver, and this guy for Josh Allen would be great because he's a deep ball threat. We know Josh Allen has a strong arm. I went with Alec Pierce out of Cincinnati. You guys know me and Cincy have our feels for each other, and Alec Pierce is one of those guys who was do-it-all type of guy for Desmond Ridder. One of the best stacking cornerbacks, just running verts and winning, getting the leverage on the quarterback and getting downfield for these open passes. Size and explosiveness. I mean, he's a 6'3" type guy, so he's got that ability to win in the end zone. But he ran an unofficial 4.33 in the 40, clocked in at an official 4.4. So he's got the quickness, he's got the acceleration, and his first couple steps gets him so far open that by the time the DB's covering up, he's going to have about 50 yards on you. Now, with Josh Allen, something he'll gain that Desmond Ridder kind of lacked last year. Desmond Ridder missed him on a lot of open throws, didn't lead him when he was separated by 3 and 4 yards at a time. I don't expect that being an issue with a guy like Josh Allen. Josh Allen loves to throw the ball deep. You can get this guy in on specific packages and hit him with the deep ball. He's got 13 deep receptions in the last 7 games last season. That's the type of guy that Josh Allen could have some fun with in his future years.
I know I'm really supposed to go into mine. I have a question for you. I know we'll be fine on everything, but I have a question for you with this. Just because of the fact that we did our top 10 wide receivers, and Alec Pierce was a name that I was like, where is he? I was trying to get an idea on where he ranks in wide receivers. And then with your pick here, round 2, pick 57. We had a prior show where it was going to be where we had like John Mechie, who went in the second round around this same range. And John Mechie was ranked in like 7-8 range for us. Alec Pierce wasn't in our top 10. So what did you see from Alec Pierce that makes him jump up and stand out to you worth a second round pick 57 pick?
So a part of this for me is the style and the talent of his play. The other part of me is this is that spot I was talking about where these receivers are just going to kind of put a bunch of pinballs in there, roll the crank and see who pops up. That's kind of the feel here. And with Alec Pierce, I think some teams are going to jump at him a little sooner just because of his size and explosiveness. John Mechie has a lot of questions, right? We know what his talent can be when he's fully healthy, but I don't expect John Mechie to stay fully healthy. I expect him to come in, impact in some places, probably end up getting really hurt, coming back the next season, impact in a couple places and getting hurt again. He's got a lot of issues internally that people have alluded to that may hinder him. Alec Pierce, I think some teams are going to jump at the idea, and you might be right. Maybe round 2 might be a little early, but I don't think coming back around for Buffalo that he would be there where they pick in round 3.
Vinny, I think part of that is it goes to what I kind of mentioned before with when you mock draft or when you say a player goes somewhere, a lot of time it's just about fit, style of play, what opportunity you're going to get when you're there. And I think AJ mentioned it when he talked about playing with the Josh Allen, right? That style of play that they want to do and going down the field when you have a Stephon Diggs who can work all over, and then you get a Gabriel Davis who's this big body receiver. If you have a guy that can stretch the field like that, excuse me, those things are things that those teams are going to be looking for. And maybe a John Mechie doesn't fit that skill set at that particular draft slot. But when we are ranking receivers, maybe we're talking about just total. I could see a situation where Alec Pierce going to the wrong situation, he becomes irrelevant. And that's the problem where we're like, oh yeah, he wasn't a top 10 guy versus just a talent, skill set, or body type alone. I think he has that, but I do think he has to be in the right situation in order for a team and a quarterback to exploit those assets. Because I don't know that you put him in any situation and he just starts thriving right away. I think it matters where you go. And I think Buffalo is that spot that AJ is talking about with a great quarterback that you don't have to do too much. Go be a deep threat early, and then you can develop that way.
Fair enough. Hey, yeah. It makes sense. That makes sense. I like the pick. I like it a lot. And I've heard a lot of good things about Alec Pierce. People are calling him a sleeper. People are liking him a lot. So I would not be surprised if he goes there. And it's a good pick for.
Oh, by the way, took my spot because I was going to go Alec Pierce to another team in the AFC East.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
interesting. Interesting.
That's what I love about these shows. It's like you have to. It is first come first serve with our doc. We have the doc made, and whoever gets those players in first, that's yours. And if you lose it, it's done.
I thought
AJ
it'd be back into a corner.
Yeah. For the first time, AJ had his players in before everybody here. So shout out AJ for making that happen. I'm gonna go next here to close the Buffalo Bills out here, and I'm going to the third round. And before I bring up my player, I want to pull this bad boy up. We listed that cornerback as a need for the Buffalo Bills. This is their cornerback depth chart. Travius White, and then everybody else. It really isn't that much. You lost Levi Wallace to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I will say Teron Johnson did play well in the slot this past year for the Buffalo Bills, but you need one more. And I'm not saying go first round. I'm not saying go second round. I'm not even saying go third round, although after watching him, and I'm really liking him a lot more, I'd go in the third round for this guy. Talked about him on Friday's show. If you missed it, he's my sleeper of this draft. It is Mario Goodrich, the cornerback out of Clemson. There it is. Mario Goodrich, cornerback out of Clemson. I'm stamping this. Mario Goodrich will be a better cornerback than Andrew Booth in the NFL.
Boom.
That's what's going to happen. He is the best corner from Clemson this year. He has been the best cornerback at Clemson since 2014. According to PFF, at least. According to PFF, those are the rankings. Those are the statistics there that I'm feeding you guys. The Buffalo Bills need a cornerback. This man let up no touchdowns in 2021. He is a solid cornerback. He's not going to wow you. He's not going to pick the ball off every play. I talked about it on Friday's show. He's not going to be able to make those spectacular plays, but he is going to be able to shut down your number one guy. And we have to bring it up. Who came into the AFC East this year? You got Tyreek Hill twice a year. You got Stephon Diggs twice a year. You got Jalen Waddle twice a year. You got, if the Jets draft a wide receiver, you got that guy twice a year. You need a cornerback, and Mario Goodrich is going to be that guy. I saw you shaking your head back here. He's going to be better than Andrew Booth. Book it. I'm willing to come back to this 5 years from now.
You have lost your damn mind. And you know what? I don't know what Bengals fans have done to you, but if you mention PFF one more time on your stats in a show, you don't even got a subscription, you told them. And now you're over here quoting how he's the best corner because of PFF. Stop it. Just stop it. I'm not saying Mario Goodrich can't be good. But number one, first show some more respect to Teron Johnson, local boy, Sheldon High School right here in Elk Grove. Stand up. He's been doing this thing. I know. I was just trying to throw it out there. He's from my town, went to Sheldon High School. That's my boy.
PFF said he ranked 7th in the league among average yards allowed in the slot or something like that. I disregarded that because I didn't need Teron Johnson stats. But if you want to go
appreciate
there,
that.
I'll go there.
I'm just saying, I just wanted to throw out some love for the local boy out here in Elk Grove. So again, shout out to Teron Johnson. But listen, when you're talking about a Mario Goodrich, to debate whether he's better than Andrew Booth right now is just asinine. I mean, you can list all the PFF stats you want. This is a guy that had a lot of penalties at Clemson, especially on deep balls down the field. His awareness, keeping close with receivers. He's very heavy-footed. I'm not saying he can't turn into a decent corner, but there's a reason why he's being evaluated where he's at. He could be a sleeper. He could turn out to be okay. And I'm not saying it's a bad pick, so I don't want people to think that I'm bashing your pick. Because in the fourth round, you get a guy with some potential. You get a guy that did play well in college at times. I think you're okay there. But to say he's going to go out and be better than Andrew Booth, who is only dropping in draft boards right now because of an injury that there's questions about and they're unsure. I think we need to slow down on that point. Because, again, I was also going to go with the corner for the Bills in round one, and that was going to be Andrew Booth at 25. So
it wouldn't be bad to get two, to be honest.
I just want you guys to stop saying he's going to be better than Andrew Booth because that is a stretch.
One, he's going to be better than Andrew Booth. And two, I don't know if you watched the Cheez-It Bowl this year, but Mario Goodrich was the MVP of the Cheez-It Bowl, not Andrew Booth. I don't know if Andrew Booth played in it.
You lost me at I don't know if you watched the Cheez-It Bowl.
And then I also I cannot confirm nor deny if Andrew Booth actually played in the Cheez-It Bowl. But Mario Goodrich, Buffalo Bills, round 4, pick 140. Book it right there.